Hello, welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. And this week, we're going to be discussing something I think everyone struggles with, whether it be metaphysical or everyday people, and that is holiday stress. And we're even going to give you a meditation on how to deal with it. So stay tuned. Okay, so every holiday, people make fun of me because they say I turn into a bit of a Grinch. And a lot of people think I just hate Christmas. And I do get a lot of comments of being Ebenezer Scrooge or the Grinch, and it's pretty, it's become a thing. To the point my wife even often changes my ringtone on my phone to "You're a mean one." However, that said, over the last we'll say 5 years or so, I've actually been able to turn that around and really, really enjoy the holidays and spending the time with my loved ones. And everyone's been wanting to know, Drake, how'd you do it of all people? You are the embodiment of the Grinch. We expect you to turn green. And that's what I want to talk about here today. By the way, like the hat. The holidays are supposed to be a time of wonder, joy, happiness, and they're supposed to, in general, represent what is best amongst us all, the goodwill toward all humanity. There's not supposed to be any bickering and arguing and those kinds of things. And that is a topic I will be talking about more later when we get to our Celebrating Yule video. However, today I want to get started because I know the holidays are already going. We just passed Turkey Day. The shopping's already going full steam. What do we do to deal with the stress? I know for me, the stressors come from feeling, the shopping, the having to get out in public, the crowds, people just being rude in general. Those things are just naturally going to bug people. However, with the job I do, I also have to deal with arguments and debates on what holidays, what, when, where, why, how do you cross your T's, dot your I's? Is it Happy Jenga, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays? What? And the truth is, I really don't care. You wish me a happy insert holiday there, I'll take it. And again, we'll get to that. But for a lot of people, the shopping, the constant family bickering, the fighting for parking spots, the decorating, the constant cleaning and or cooking, that just goes with the general Yuletime spirit and the rambunctiousness of the holidays is a major, major stressor for a lot of people. And it's also a time when a lot of us we get very depressed, we get sad, we get angry, we get frustrated, all these things. But it shouldn't be that way. So let's talk about how we can do this. Now, the way I found to do this is through meditation. And what I actually did is I took and I blended a visualization style meditation utilizing multiple inputs with grounding and shielding to give me a long-term throughout the day benefit. And we even incorporated some ways to naturally utilize the season to refresh those shields. Now, the ideal is these shields will essentially keep out the extra stressors while also bringing that joy, wonder, and happiness of the season and what's supposed to be back to us and helping us hold on to that. Remember, as practitioners, we are the masters of the energy that affects our lives. And part of that energy, part of what affects our lives is our mental state and our emotional state. And those are very, very important. And those are exactly what I wanted to target. I wanted to refine that youthful wonder that was the Yuletime season while keeping out the stupid people. I'm allergic to stupid people. I really am. But I like to get out and I like to do things. And I love to go to a holiday party with my wife if she wants to. And I'll try to have fun. But I knew I had some things to work on. And that is where this meditation comes in. And I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this, and we're going to keep it kind of simple, a little lighthearted, hopefully. So, first thing you're going to need to do is sit down. You don't need a big fancy backdrop like this. You can sit down anywhere you want. If you have a hat, wear a hat. Hats are nice. Hats are great. Hats are cool. But the hat's not needed either. All right. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to visualize things that to you are the embodiment of the joy and wonder and happiness of this season. Not jet noise for most people. This jet noise, sorry about that. It is definitely a busy day, but jet noise probably is not one of those things. Ironically, I have found that when I leave the area, I don't sleep as good without the jets flying over, so go fig. Makes recording a problem, so I apologize for that. But find those things that represent those for you. Now, I would also recommend picking out music. Now, it could be holiday music that you like that brings in that feeling and that wonder that you associate with the season, but it doesn't have to be. It can be any old music. It can be heavy metal, it can be rock, it can be punk, it can be country, it can be blues, it can be jazz. It doesn't matter. As long as you like it and it makes you happy, it doesn't matter. But find a music to go with this meditation. I really do find that it helps. Now, one thing I personally do is I do actually try to find Christmas music. And the reason for that is when I go out to the stores, it's going to be there, and I'm going to use that sound as one of my triggers to remember my meditation and the joy of the season. Now, for me, the visualizations that I like to pull on when it comes to this time of year in the season and the things that I truly love about it is family, friends, loved ones, sure. I do love my family, I do love my friends, but sometimes they get on my nerves. So I actually shifted more toward, for me, the snow, the cool weather, hot drinks, laughter, and sitting by the fire. Those are the things to me that really, really stand out. Now, the sitting by the fire and the laughter, those are what I actually utilize because those were the things about my friends and family in this time of year that I love without the annoyances. See what I did there? And you have to have a little humor with this meditation. You really do, because it's going to, we're diving in here. We're trying to bring that joy and that happiness back. Humor brings happiness. Remember that. Now, once you have that visualization, you got your music picked out, I want you to go ahead and sit down, and I want you to visualize them surrounding you. So for me, I visualize a nice snowstorm surrounding me. I try to feel that cool air brushing against me. I even try to smell it. You know that cold winter air, the smell to it? I actually try to do that. I try to smell that as well. I try to hear the crackling of the bonfire. And I usually picture several bonfires around me during my meditation. And I also make a point to feel the radiant heat coming from them. But most importantly for me, this is the big one. I try to breathe in that scent of a campfire, that wonderful, wonderful smell of a campfire on a cold night. That is a huge one for me. And as I raise this energy, this joyful, joyful energy, then I start to pull that energy in me with every breath I'm taking. And I'm just filling myself up with that wonder, that happiness, and that joy until it literally comes bursting out of me. But I keep going, I keep pulling. I want to visualize this joy, this sensation of the season, all these wonderful things I love about this season. And I want it to radiate out from me, spilling over to fill the room, to fill my home, to fill my neighborhood, to fill my community. As far out as I can visualize it going, that's what I want to do. And I want to spend a good 5 to 10 minutes doing this. You can go for longer if you want. But I find 5 to 10 minutes is usually a sweet spot for me on this meditation. Now, grant you, I start my 5 to 10 once I get to that bursting point. I just sit there in that happiness, that joy, and that wonder. And the ideal that I can take this happiness and joy and wonder with me wherever I go. But after about 5 or 10 minutes, I want to start pulling in. I want to start solidifying that imagery around me. That snowstorm, that fire crackling. I want to utilize this now to solidify it into a Yuletime shield, if you will. And it is actually going to keep out all the negativity, the stress, the annoyance, the aggravations, all that. It's going to keep that crap out. We're going to keep it out. This way, when I go to the store, the mall, wherever I'm going, I don't have to worry about it. Other people's frustrations aren't going to ruin my holiday. I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of my happy holiday season, and that is exactly what I'm going to get. Now, with that shield, I do make sure to focus on the smell of fire, the smell of cinnamon, the smell of cool air, and the Christmas music that I have been listening to. And I use those as triggers to remind me, to reinforce the shield, why I'm solidifying it. Because if you focus on those why you solidify your shield, and you set them in your brain to say, remind me of the good of the season. Remind me of why I love this season. Not jet noise. Focus on those, not the jet noise. Focus on those. Remind me of why I love the season. Focus on the music you chose. Focus on the smells and the scents. I love to do pine and cinnamon, especially because these are things that I will run into as I go about my town here. Cinnamon, I'll admit, that's a cheat code because it's hard to walk in a store around here this time of year without them damn cinnamon pine cones or brooms or something. So there's a constant reminder in the air about this working, and that comes in massively useful because it allows you to remember it. And every time you remember the working, it reinforces the shields and it gives a surge of that joy back to you. And to me, that might possibly be the most important part of this exact meditation, is the ability to refresh it, reinforce it, and give it a good jolt and charge while you're out and about in public, while you're fighting for that parking spot. That is the time you're going to need it. Now, for those of us who have to drive and deal with traffic and fight for parking spots, play Christmas music. That's the whole thing here. You can put the music you used for the meditation in your vehicle and utilize it to stay positive. Stay as positive as you can. Even while driving. Yes, even while driving. When that cranky old bat zips in with her 12 kids thinking she's entitled to your spot and she gives you the finger, laugh it off, go find you another spot. Me personally, I always park on the back of the lot anyways. I could use the exercise, and it's far easier to get my things loaded and get out of there. But I know a lot of people try to fight for those close spots. I don't fight for those. But this will help you, and you'll have the music in your car there that you can do it. One thing a friend of mine did was they actually put an air freshener also associated with the scents that they chose for the meditation. And that's great if you can do it. For me, it's pine. I do not want my car smelling like cinnamon. I love cinnamon flavor. The scent of it gets a little overwhelming. But I do love pine. And I usually do have the evergreen candles throughout the house because I just love that smell. It's just something so calming and relaxing. So pine is a great one, or cedar or something like that. So these are great ways to reinforce that shield. Remember, that's what we're doing. We're reinforcing that shield right now, and you're putting that focus on it. And once you have all that locked in, take you a good 3 to 10 breaths while you're holding that focus. Breathe out and shift your focus to taking this positive energy, taking this joy, this wonder, this happiness, the goodwill toward all that this season represents. And I want you to picture you taking this with you wherever you go to share it with those you encounter. Now, this last one might seem a little odd, but our auras affect the area around us. You walk by somebody, your aura is going to brush. The neat thing about this is, in the case of a shield, your aura is pulled in behind the shield. So anything that your shield comes into contact with, you're going to be passing a small blessing of joy to the areas you're walking around. The neat thing I found about this in my times using this over the years has got to be this meditation. Not only does it help me, not only does it make me a better person during the holidays and overcome my own bah humbugness, It also allows me to bring that joy and wonder back to other people. I have literally been standing in line and watched people calm down, start smiling, start humming a Christmas tune or a Yule song. One individual started singing a song I did not recognize it. I asked him about it, and apparently it was a Hanukkah song of some kind. I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was amazing. And I have found that since I don't really gear this religiously or anything, I just gear it to the whole season, I get to bring that wonder, that happiness, and that joy everywhere I go. Now that makes my season brighter, that makes their season brighter. And I like to think they take that attitude and they pass it on as well. And there is no doubt that me being in a much more jovial and Yuletime mood definitely brightens people's days. Many of you have seen me in the live streams. I'm talkative. I'm flamboyant. I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh. I like to see them smile. So I'm sure me being in a better mood also helps. All right, so quick recap on that. What do? We pick out a music. We got our holiday music. We pick out the things about that holiday that we actually enjoy, the thing that brings us joy, happiness, and wonder. We utilize those in a visualization method. We meditate on that. We fill ourselves with that joy and that wonder using the visualization, pulling that energy toward us. We fill ourselves to the point where we're bursting, and we continue to fill ourselves, seeing it spill out to the room and our home at the bare minimum. At the bare minimum. I do often encourage people to continue that spillover into their neighborhoods and communities, because those are the places that are going to affect you most, and therefore it's always good to help those areas with a little happiness as well. Continue this visualization, lock it in, then solidify the visualization that you've built up around you, form it into a shield, while focusing that shield on triggers, that the sense and the imagery, anything that you can utilize. This will remind you of the meditation, which will remind you of the shield, which will remind you of its purpose, which will remind you to be in a good mood. And then, once you've got all that, focus on you taking that shield, that energy with you, sharing it, keeping your holiday bright, as well as sharing the wonders and happiness with those you encounter. Do this meditation daily through the holiday season. I think you will be amazed and absolutely surprised at how well this simple visualization meditation will work. Now, for those of you who say, Drake, I can't visualize, it's fine. Focus on sounds, focus on scents. If you have to, focus on tastes. I got one friend, she cannot visualize for shit. That's okay though. You know what she does? She focuses on sounds, scents, and taste. And my personal favorite for her, this girl is definitely a salted caramel mocha girl. She can't leave the house during the holidays without getting one. So that's one of the flavors of the holidays that brings her joy. So she always has a quick recap just to top her off on that happiness and joy wherever she goes. I hadn't thought of that until she mentioned it, but it works for her, and maybe that'll be what works for you. I don't know. No judgment. Salted caramel mochas are pretty good. I usually just get black coffee, but y'all know me. Give this a try, definitely. The holidays are supposed to be fun and joyous. I know they get very, very hard. They're hard on me. Some of my dearest loved ones' birthdays actually fall this time of year, and they have passed on. And their memories, their thoughts of them can bring me down from time to time. But I also try to remember how much joy they tried to bring to me, even in the darkest of times this time of year. And I want to try and pass on that same tradition. I think this is the time of year where we should try to be better humans, or better people, or better whatever you call yourself, whatever you are. I think we should try to find the best in humanity. We got the rest of the year to show how bad we are. Let's take this time of year to show how good we can be. And let's try to enjoy it. All right? Give this meditation a try. And from my family to yours, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have a wonderful Yule. I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.